welcome all of today. As the program director said, I am Mrs. Pig, the acting principal of P College. I acknowledge the CEO of CHIETA. I also acknowledge the board chair lady of CHIETA, all CHIETA executive managers, our own chairperson of our council, our industry partners, my student leaders, my executive managers, and all staff of P College, and all the unsung heroes that made today possible. Please feel welcomed. It's really my pleasure and honor to be on the program. Now, I'm told that CHIETA is a small CHIETA with a small budget. But I think you will agree with me that today they are doing something very big. It's also my pleasure to welcome you to Gqeberha and to our P College Struendale campus. This is the biggest campus. And unfortunately, this campus does not even have a resource center. But today, CHIETA has made it possible. And I really want to take this opportunity to really thank them. We have a long-standing relationship with CHIETA. They are also supporting our lecturer development program, as well as our student placement in industry program. So they are really a strong partner. Once again, colleagues, feel welcomed and enjoy all the festivities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fig, for that message of that welcome message. I'll ask everyone in the audience to please stand as we sing the national anthem.
Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa.
Thank you for that beautiful edition of the national anthem. I would now like to call upon the CHIETA CEO, Mr. Yashin Pillai, who will deliver a message. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director, Mr. Isri. Very good morning to all. We are glad to be here as the chemical CHIETA. When we often start with this, I know our chairperson says not cheetah. That's the question I always get, is it cheetah, CHIETA? So we've simplified it to say chemical CHIETA, as we're not cheaters. So we'd really like to welcome this opportunity to be here. Let me firstly, I think, greet the chairperson of the council, Ms. Ndlovu, the principal, the acting principal of the PETVET College, Ms. Jessie Figs, the chairperson of our board, Ms. Wezi Koza, and the students and staff members who are present, the student leadership who are present here as well, our executive managers, and our entire team who have joined us today for this very auspicious occasion as we launch our first Smart Skills Center in collaboration with the PETVET College in the Eastern Cape Province. I think it's apt to really firstly thank, we've always said that collaboration is the engine of innovation. And we must really thank Ms. Ndlovu and Ms. Figs for an excellent collaboration to make this center a reality. Leadership is often defined as idealism in action, or the ability to translate your vision into reality. What we found is that some organizations get the vision part right. Excellent vision, good ideas, but not much execution on the ground. Others get the execution right. A lot of activity, good implementation, but the same old thing. And so not much impact, but good numbers. What we've tried to do through the leadership of Ms. Koza and the board at the Chemical CHIETA is to get the vision and the execution right. Because it's often said by from a famous Thomas Edison that vision without execution is hallucination. So we don't want to hallucinate and then you call us cheaters. What we want to do is to vision and execute. And I think for me, this is a good example of vision and execution. In 2021, our board of directors, under the leadership of Ms. Koza, had a vision that we should do things differently. For years, many of our CETAs, we've been training only to find that young people remain unemployed. So we've been training for unemployment. And so we wanted to do things differently. And Ms. Koza said to us that let's try and innovate for impact. That's our slogan. That's what we stand for. You'll see it on our banners here, innovating for impact. And so we had the board approve a new vision for us with 16 success factors. So we knew what success looked like. But fundamentally, it meant that we wanted to provide digital services for all our stakeholders so that we could innovate and have greater impact. Now, we didn't do this outside of industry. You have many industry players here as we were driving and coming through the campus. Just last week, I had an engagement with some of our CEOs and from the petrochemical sector. And many of them said to me that they think we're on the right track. Because in the past, we used to hear CHIETA talk about chemicals. Now we hear you talking about digital and chemical. A fusion between digital and chemical, which is actually taking place on the factory floor, in our premises, on our facilities. And some were even showing me, BP, for example, showing me how reality technology, 4IR technology, is being used to train for safety training, highly specialized training. Why? Because it makes business sense. 2, it reduces costs. And thirdly, it reduces your safety risk. Now, what I understand is, and I think there's a few questions I want to address here, but firstly, let me just give you a sense of what is it that we do. So we have 4 strategic pillars that we do, or 4 buckets that all our programs fit into at the Chemical CHIETA. And the one is digitization. So we're really looking at making sure that we digitize all our services and products. The other is innovation, both digital and non-digital innovation, so doing things differently. The third is collaboration, and I think today's partnership has also welcomed some of our stakeholders from our different sectors. I see you here today. This is an example of collaboration in action. Fourth is transformation, so that we actually make a difference by ensuring that more women, more youth, and people with disabilities are included. As I mentioned transformation, I had a very interesting discussion, Chair. Someone was asking me, so is this center only for youth? This was from an elderly person. I said to them, no, not at all. It's for everyone. And they reminded me actually that for any society to be inclusive, it must be inclusive of all parties, the young and the old. Because part of the challenges that the elderly are facing is the inability to actually use digital technologies for their own benefit. And so you have this sharp digital divide that is taking place in the country between the haves and the have-nots, the urban and the rural, the youth and the young, the youth and the old. And so this Smart Skills Center that we are establishing today, the purpose of it, the problem that we are addressing is the digital divide, the digital skills divide that is currently taking place in the country. This data from Stats SA tells us that internet penetration in the country, especially amongst TVET colleges, schools, etc., is only about 34 to 35%. So a vast majority do not have access to internet connectivity. Problem that we're trying to solve is to bridge this digital skills divide. So how are we going to do that? Well, let me firstly say to you that part of the vision that our new board and the leadership that they've centered for us is to ensure that we do things differently, as I said. And this means that we are no longer in the business of skills development and training. We're now in the business of sustainable livelihoods. We now want to make a greater impact. What does this mean? This means that we're no longer going to train for the sake of training. We're now going to focus on improving the quality of lives. And so end-to-end services. And again, my discussion I had with the petrochemical subsector was that we need to go big. We need to think bigger. We need to have mega impactful projects. Because what we're doing right now is scratching the surface of high unemployment and especially high youth unemployment. We're not making a dent on this picture. So to make a dent on this picture when you've got in excess of 3.1 million young people sitting at home with youth unemployment in its 40s, more than 40%, you've got to reach more by doing less and by having more opportunities, sustainable opportunities. So creating one job that is lost after a year is not sustainable. Creating one SMME or startup that goes bankrupt after a year is not sustainable. And so we're trying to do things differently to improve the quality of lives. So how does the Smart Skills Center improve lives? Well, firstly, it ensures access to free data for accessing new opportunities. Secondly, it's a safe space for productive work. Many of us actually make an assumption that data is available to all. It's a wrong assumption. Data costs in the country are very high. Many people do not have access to data. Secondly, we think that the conditions for all to ensure success are equal for all. But that's not true. Many do not have a safe and quiet space to actually take an interview for a job and secure that job. This Smart Skills Center seeks to achieve that. You see with our 12 internet pods, it's a safe space to work quietly and perhaps even take an interview for a job if you're an unemployed young person. Or even do a training course and be accredited by an institution as far as the University of Johannesburg for that matter, with a credential that you can now put online, digital, and that's the way that the world is going. It's a digital future. Thirdly, an opportunity to experience 4IR technologies, such as augmented reality and virtual reality, and cloud computing, which would otherwise be too expensive, especially for the poor to access. By the way, I was having a discussion with Mr. Dave, who's sitting at the back, who's responsible for the VR technology. He was reminding me that each of the 3 VR pods that you will see today cost in excess of almost 280,000 Rand to 300,000 Rand for one. So those 3 VR pods would have cost almost R1 million, 900,000. Now, what do they actually offer? What are the tangible benefits? Many industry partners say to us that the new employees that we get have never used augmented reality and virtual reality before. So we've got to spend 3 to 6 months training them on the basics of 4IR technologies before we can go into advanced learning. Impala Platinum said this to us on maintenance planners who came into the workplace. It's a myth if you think that maintenance planning is done physically anymore. It's no longer done that way in the workplace. Just ask Impala Platinum in their minds. So you come into this environment, a workplace that is highly digitized, and you don't know how to use a device. You've never experienced augmented reality or virtual reality before. You are already on the back foot. In countries as far as South Korea, grade 3 learners start robotics. Many of our students will only see robotics perhaps, if not at high school, then at tertiary level, which means we are on the back foot. We are behind the curve, especially the global curve. And many TVET colleges, Ms. Figs, I'm told that VR technology can reduce consumables by almost 500 to 600,000 Rand per annum. Why? Because you have less welding rods. You don't have to use welding rods for pre-training anymore, for example. So these are tangible benefits. It's not a pie in the sky hype that we're talking about here. These are actual tangible benefits for both learners, colleges, industry players, etc. And this is the way that we will see the workplace transitioning to, not in the future, but now. So these are three clear benefits of how smart skill centers will improve lives. And our goal will be to establish 9 of these smart skill centers across the country, one in every province by March 2025. This is the second one, as was mentioned, and we will have another smart skill center. But we're not stopping there. We are now thinking, what next? I'm sure many of you used to buy CDs at some point. I'm not sure how many of our young people sitting in front buy CDs anymore. Now you can offer me the best CD, an advanced CD, all types of things. I'm not going to buy it because the days of CDs are gone. At some point, what we're doing today, the rate of change is so rapid that even what we are launching today will become obsolete. There will be something new. That's the rate of hyper-digitalization and accelerated digital transformation. So what we're now thinking about 3 to 5 years from now, what's next? What comes after a smart skill center? Not for a hype, for that matter, but to make sure that any young person or any learner who enters the workplace will be able to have a decent set of skills and capabilities to ensure success in that workplace. And so we're now exploring new ideas. Chair, I did mention with the petrochemical sector was very excited about having a mega skills project that could be far different and infuse digital, perhaps even with hydrogen skills, etc., or even various types of chemical skills. Because that's the way the world is going now, and that's the way industry is going for that matter. So our aim is really to have, and as part of improving the quality of lives, we also want to set up 2,000 SMMEs by 2025, 200 cooperatives in the chemicals industries, 100 startups. We have a retrenched workers support program for supporting retrenched workers. We know there's many retrenchments taking place in the country, and we're also focusing on hydrogen skills. So what will we be measuring? This is important. We're not going to be measuring whether we have set up a smart skill center or not. That's not what we're measuring. What we're measuring is learner throughput. How many learners will access some form of product or service to better their lives from this smart skill center? Whether that be a job, new career advice, access for starting up a small business, that's what we will be measuring. If it works, we will scale it up. If it doesn't work, we'll kill it, start something new. That's what innovation is all about. And that's the approach we're taking, because we want to make an impact and not just chase numbers. So this is what will be offered, and we're very excited about the 12 internet training pods. And as I mentioned, what's different and unique about this Smart Skills Center is the virtual reality pods in particular. because that's going to allow an immersive experience. Sometimes a young person just needs to experiment. I don't know about you, but when I did chemistry chair in school, if you can't see the experiment, how do you expect to actually pass for that? Because that's what science is all about. I see some of the learners nodding their heads. So what I read in the textbook is very different to what I experience. If I experience it, I can do better. If I can't experience virtual reality technology, how do you expect me to succeed for that matter? So just to experience is what we're offering young people, free of charge, something that you would have ordinarily paid for in a different context. And again, I must thank, I think, Ms. Figs and the college, Ms. Ndlovu, because I think often at times, and learners as well, I think we should be fair. You know, we're often criticized, rightfully so, when things go wrong. But when things go right, let's also celebrate. Let's give credit. You have facilities here that will never be accessible to many in the country. So when things go right, and this is a department-led initiative, this is a TVET college-led initiative, let's also give credit to the leadership of the college. They made this happen. If it was not for their decisive leadership, this center was not going to be here. You would have never had R1 million worth of virtual reality technology here. Or an opportunity to get free training in data science, cloud computing, have a credential to put on your CV to go and access a new opportunity for that matter. And not just for the CV purposes, but for the actual skills. So I think well done to you, Ms. Ndlovu and Ms. Figs, for actually making this happen and for working with our team. And I think our team finally has come to the conclusion, have done exceptionally well to actually make this happen, to implement it, to have the Smart Skills Center, and to make sure that it is fully operational. And we really want to thank all of those who are present here. And finally, let me also say, part of doing things differently is we have a smart boardroom. And this smart boardroom is equipped with smart boardroom facilities so that if you want to venture into entrepreneurship, for that matter, you can now access a smart boardroom because it's an assumption that we make that every entrepreneur, every startup or SMME actually has the facilities, a space to conduct meetings, explore potential clients, hire new people for their startup or small, even experience entrepreneurship. And so this smart boardroom will allow a startup or an SMME to do so that you will be able to actually strategize and plan and experience entrepreneurship in a digital way. So we're going digital, we're going innovation-powered technology. We're making sure that there's a fusion between digital and chemical, not because we want it, not because we like it, but because that's the way industry is going. That's the way the country is going. That's the way we are going globally, for that matter. It's a digital era, and we are preparing our learners to take advantage for the opportunities in a digital era. Let me conclude with this quote by Olaf Scholz. And he once said that just because the good old days are gone, it doesn't mean that the good new days can't begin. So let the good new days begin at the TVET College, and we hope that learners will seize these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we give the CEO another round of applause? Thank you, Mr. Pillay, for really setting the scene and providing the context of why we are here today. Really, the words are inspirational, and I see a lot of excited faces in the audience. So thank you for that address. Colleagues, we will now move on to a message from the PE TVET College Chairperson of the Governing Council, Ms. Ndlovu. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Specifically and particularly, good morning to the chairperson of the CHIETA, to the CEO, to the principal of the college, to the students who are the recipients of every program here, to the lecturers. I haven't seen the CHIETA or this new program's lecturers yet, but I'm sure to meet them one time or the other. To the lecturers, to everybody that has come to celebrate this launch today. I greet you and I hope you have all understood what the CEO has said. Mine is simply to try and coordinate whatever has been said with what we as the college have been privileged to receive. Would be a short of words if we were to say, if we were not to say, we are very pleased to be the first center on the TVET colleges to receive this skills, Smart Skills Center. We are the first college to receive it, apparently, in the Eastern Cape or in all the colleges, because you still have to go to KZN. So I don't want to say only Eastern Cape, because I'm told that we are the second one in the country. So as we are the second one in the country, we still have to see. What makes me happier at all times is to have the stakeholders in the center of everything that is happening in the college. The students, the lecturers, and the management in the form of the principal who makes the world go round. I'm only being tossed by the principal this side and that side, and I only have to go back to the council and say, is this governance? Is this, once they say it is in the interest of the college, it is in the interest of the students, then I have to appeal to the students as the main role player, as our future, to take everything that is happening seriously. I've been very happy to hear from the CEO saying that this strategic plan and experience of the digital and digitalization of everything is not what they want or what we want. It is what is happening. Then it remains upon everybody, that's the role player, to make what is happening globally to be understood, to be utilized, and to benefit your own communities. If you can't start home, you will not make it anywhere. So your own communities, make it a point that you have this access to free internet, as you have said. Isn't that good? I think it is. Also, the use or the availability of the computers, which we know are a challenge. I saw the IT chap here, Mr. Slakan. Where is he now? He was seated there. I don't see him yet. Whatever talks about digital, whatever talks about internet is very important in this college. We've got so much to do. We've got so much that we have done. We've got so much expectation from our students. And I'm happy when the CEO says they have measures. They do review what they have done, what benefit it is to the people that they are delivering it to. They are very ready to change if they find that it doesn't benefit the community or it doesn't give the desired results. But as I understand, we've got so much of dangerous chemicals that are in use. So it should be everybody's curiosity. I don't see ladies in this table with students. It should be everybody's curiosity to know what's helpful and what's not helpful, how to curb it, how to make the best out of everything that is being presented to you. And as student leaders, you must have sucked up everything that has been said about this center. And you must go back to your constituencies and this is what we want. We are lucky to have it. How are we going to benefit the college? Because I know the principal, whatever the management is doing, they are doing it for the advancement of the students, meaning the advancement of the communities, meaning that the most rural area, which is the Eastern Cape, is going to be benefiting. And I hope that we have taken that very seriously. And my main prayer is that whoever the personnel are going to be there are going to do the best to make a point that this benefits everybody. I have not seen, as I again say, in my governance position, I'm not on the management, I'm not on the implementation. I haven't heard of the presence of the people that are going to be driving this. So I believe that he said he doesn't want to be called CHIETA. They want to be called chemical sitter. I haven't heard how many of their staff members are they putting on the pots that are available here to assist. How many students are they going to take in, and when are they going to take them, and for how long are they going to take them? But I believe that with the amount of expenditure that they've made, they are going to put everything up, and they are going to advise us before we leave of when is the start, how many can be absorbed, what were the criteria. That's not my real business. It's the college's business. But as somebody that's in the governance, we always pray that things move properly within the college. With those few words, I thank students for attending. You're most important to me. I thank the campus managers and everybody here. That's a very important person that have come to listen and to understand what's happening on this launch. And more than everybody else, I thank the principal, who I am told came to hear about this whilst they were elsewhere. And I thank the leadership of the CHIETA. And I hope that we will have a very, very good working and not only good, productive advancement of the communities put on. As he said, this is what is going on. Not everything that's going on, the nuclear weapons and nuclears and this and that things that are happening. And I hope that students are not going to think only of where am I going to be working. Whatever you get from college, whatever you get from education centers these days, you must be able to say, I can use it independently. I can establish my own small business, and I can also pray to have my small business as a big business. We hope that from now on, you will be more empowered to move forward and form mega businesses. On behalf of the college, I am very excited about the project, about the launch, way forward, and way forward that's sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rovo, for that message of support. I can mention in terms of the programs and the learners, we are definitely looking at learners from the local community. Those will be internship learners. Those learners will support the actual running of the Smart Skills Center. So we are not looking at employing from outside of the community. It's going to be members from inside of the community that will be actually part of the Smart Skills Center. And you are also right in saying this is the first Smart Skills Center that is being set up at the TVET College. The first one was set up by the Saldanha Bay Industrial Development Zone. So this is the first one in the TVET College, so we can be quite proud of that. So thank you for that. We now move to the musical item. We have a lovely band that's going to be playing some songs. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Molweni betunan. My name is Siasanga Koyo. I am going to render 2 items, and I would like you to feel free. If you want to dance, if you want to sing along, just feel free. Thank you so much. Come with me, Paradise Road, this way, please. I'll carry your load, please. You must believe. Come with me. sure change your ways. You must believe there are better days before us, and the burning bridge behind us, fire smoking. The sky is blazing. There's a woman weeping, waiting, and the young man nearly beating all for love. Paradise was almost closing down. Ooh, yeah. Come with me down Paradise Road. It will change your life. It will sure change your way. This you must believe. There are better days before us, and the burning bridge behind us, fire smoking. The sky is blazing. There's a woman weeping and waiting, and a young man nearly beating all for love. Paradise was almost closing down. Thank you. The name of the next song is called Gqeberha. Ndiyabona izinto ziyajika. We introduce into ezintsha, and the students are going to learn more. Thank you so much. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Yeah. Voices in my dreams telling me that I should go, saying over here is where I wanna be. This melody's in me, saying this is who I am. Tingaba intoni na kapana kwa kombino. Ain't a way to show you. Yeah. There ain't a way to show you. Yeah. There ain't a way to show you. Until Jiggy Zeta, Kalum Kulomino. When you smile, you. Yazifela noba bega thini ngawe mina ngiyagcwala ngawe mina ngiyagcwala ngizohlala nawe suku sonke ngizoba seduze kwakho dala ngibatshela ngawe ngithi nguwe wedwa qha isoka lami Dukunikela ngenhliziyo yami uzongibangela usize nje kodwa ngifuna ukuzwa lutho I can't help loving you I can't help loving you no I can't help loving you I can't help loving you no I can't help loving you I can't help loving you no I can't help loving you I can't help Sokumela noba benga thini ngawe nangiyagcwala ngawe nangiyagcwala ngizohlala nawe malanga onke ngizoba seduze kwakho Dukunikela ngenhliziyo yami uzongibangela usize nje angifuna ukuzwa lutho I can't help loving you no I can't help loving you I can't help loving you no I can't help loving you I can't help loving you no I can't help loving you I can't help so me away Okay, I'm gonna do one song. Yay, dance if you wanna dance between yenza kane bicycle and ndabona abantu bakhona bethu My people, enter the world and enter the world to the ground. Fedimo, Samora Machel has won. Mozambique, a luta continua, continua. Mozambique, a luta continua, continua.
enjoyed that as well. So thank you for that. We will now move to the next item on our agenda, which is the keynote address by the Chemical CHIETA chairperson, Ms. Wezi Koza.
Good day, colleagues. And let me greet all our valued stakeholders and acknowledge the presence of, in absentia, Executive Mayor, Mr. Retief Odendal, Chairperson of the PE-TVET College Government Council, my Madam Chair, Ms. Nurse Demandlovu. You spoke eloquent. Thank you very much. And also Ms. Jessie Fix, my friend, who I'm seeing for the second time. She's now my friend, and I'm pleased to actually be associated with high-level people like her, Principal. Hi, Bo. Okay. No, that's technology. And also in absentia, our colleagues from the MICT, CETA, and, oh, there you are, beautiful. Oh, thank you very much. Can you please stand up? You know, we always mention you guys, and lovely. Thank you very much, sir. And also from NEMISA, anybody from NEMISA? Okay, great. Now, I'm putting this aside now. Ma'am, you sang beautifully. I'm going to tell you a story. This is off the script. During my days, I'm not sure if it was your days also or whoever else, but we're speaking about the age divide here. We've got Yeshen, who is half my age or 3/4 my age, and then here am I standing here. We used to have festivals, and festivals we used to hold them in, during apartheid days, we used to hold them in Swaziland or Lesotho. And then we take buses to travel to Lesotho, to Swaziland, to go and listen to Siasanga, you know, in Swaziland. And those days, we used to know each other, you know, from the Eastern Cape, Northern Transvaal, all of these locations, Alexander Township, and then Pinoni and Tonge, all will meet in Swaziland, you know, at Manzini for a festival there. And that's where we would know each other. But now you find activists nowadays, they don't know each other because now we don't have festivals in areas where there's specialties. And Eastern Cape, there's a speciality about music like this. And I think, you know, if we have got this, our executive mayors, our premiers, they should actually be capitalizing on this to have festivals in the Eastern Cape here so that tourism can come here. You must actually shine these voices so that we can know that they're beautiful voices in Eastern Cape, not them going to Johannesburg, but us Johannesburgers coming in the Eastern Cape to listen to them and boost the economy of the Eastern Cape. That's just my take on that. Next, again, I was in a conference with one of Yeshen's, our CEO's executives at Centec last week, 2 weeks ago in Cape Town. And there we're talking digital skills divide here now. We actually were in the room with, I was telling our CEO, with Will I Am. You know Will I Am? Will I Am. So the one who wanted to be president of Haiti, you remember? Yes, he's the musician and leader in what. So he was sitting with us, but not with us. He was in a hologram. So he was talking to us, telling us that the way we look at the industrial revolution, at the fourth industrial revolution, we actually thinking about a train that is moving from Durban, 11 coaches, it's going to arrive in Johannesburg, you know, in 3 days' time. Gone are those days. He actually says, I'm sitting every day on my computer, checking what is new in as far as the ICT is concerned. And immediately, something I learn immediately, I apply it to my music. I apply it to my business. So there is no time to actually go and consult anybody else. He just looks at it, you know, online and immediately puts it. Now, this is the benefit of what CHIETA is bringing here. Bringing a smart skills center so that the community here can have on-time transformation, on-time transformation. And this on-time transformation is actually not only bridging the digital skills divide, also the age divide. Yashen was speaking about old ladies who are asking, is this only for young people? As I was sitting here, I'm thinking, I'm seeing all over South Africa, post offices are becoming obsolete. And if they're becoming obsolete and we've got a skill center here, our mothers can't be going to the code and sitting there waiting to be paid for ISASA and all of that. Why not teach them skills through this to actually navigate their phones in order to be able to do that which they can do to help themselves? And that's how we take industrial revolution to the communities and to our old people also, because we still add value here. So we are not going to have old ladies being pushed in wheelchairs and wrapping up themselves with blankets and all of that, going and sit there and the rain comes and they sit until the rain ends. Whereas they can just be brought here, a taxi, 5 of them, they sit here, just allocate time for them to actually, now we are going to push you through to know how to access your bank. Just to access your bank, just do that, and we shall have gone a mile in doing things like those. So that is the age divide. It's not only digital divide, but basically what is important, which we are all here about, is the Smart Skill Center, the launch. Now, something wrong is coming up here. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Now, we have partnered here with Gqeberha, TVET College, the National Electronic Media Institute of South Africa, and the Media Information Communication Technology Sector Education and Training Authority, that is MICT. Now, as part of this partnership with CHIETA, the college, run here by Ms. Fix, will provide infrastructure and security for the center, while NEMISA will be providing online learning programs, and also the MICT will be responsible for providing ICT-related programs. Now, the center focuses on digital skills and is aimed at addressing the digital skills divide, but I've also now introduced the age divide, addressing that. Also, that being done in the surrounding rural and community businesses. Now, the rollout of these smart skill centers will ultimately contribute towards advancing rural communities' employability within various economic sectors, as it will enable skills development in line with the demands of emerging technologies and for IR. Now, while I'm saying this, I hasten to actually indicate that it's important for us to acknowledge the fact that as technology advances, our minds should also be advancing so that we are always not in a catch-up mode. We are always on time in terms of taking up what is coming up. Now, the center's services are free, like the CEO has indicated, including access to data plus training courses aimed at job seekers, business startups, SMEs. Now, they will also include spaces for training to be conducted in augmented AR and also VR. The Smart Skill Centers will have all of the things that which have been indicated here. And then after, the other most important part is that much as it is my honor to address this historic occasion, I'm confident that this project will actually have an immediate and profound impact in all areas surrounding the Smart Skill Center here at Ikaya. Now, the opening of this center displays CHIETA's ability to follow through on big and ambitious projects that are crucial to job creation due to their pivotal role around the country. And our CEO has indicated that over and above the fact that we are mandated to foster skills development nationally, we have gone beyond that. We're still doing it. But most importantly, we make sure that we promote sustainable livelihoods because people have got to continue living. You are going to have skills, but with skills and not opportunities being there, you are not going to be as productive as you'd like to be. I would like also to point out that crucially, the latest smart skill centers is another tangible step by ourselves as CHIETA through our CEO in ushering a new dawn to digital skills development and training. Now, various technology-based programs will be offered by the center, including those related to technologies such as robotics and virtual welding, and which we have also launched somewhere else in Saldanha Bay, also where we launched coded welding. I'm saying we because now I'm part of them, you know, but they are running and doing everything. I get shocked sometimes at the things that which they do. But most importantly, I would like to say there are many things that which are happening around us. And as CHIETA, the CEO has indicated that we came up with a vision of innovation. And innovation is part of our 4 strategic pillars as actually determined by the CEO and his executive. And that being collaboration, transformation, digitization, and innovation. So while we're doing that, now at each and every moment, the CEO makes sure that the crew that he leads, from himself right to shop floor, to the cleaner, they actually come up with ideas which are innovative, that will change the lives of people getting into the CHIETA offices, changing the lives of people who are impacted, like yourselves here, you know, like yourselves here, impacted by the projects that which are coming up all the time. Regional offices, everywhere where CHIETA touches, there should actually be an innovative idea. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Where there is an innovative idea, a secret of CHIETA is that they think it, and then they speak it, and then they do it. And after doing it, they breathe it. When they breathe it, it becomes live, and hence we are here. Because of an idea that came from somewhere, and here we are now breathing skills, smart skills centers throughout the country. And this is the 3rd one, which we are having. The second one. First one was in, I'm running ahead because I know there's lots that's coming. So there's one which was started in Saldanha Bay. Here we are now. Now, what is important is that for this to be located here at Gqeberha at Ikhaia, it's not only looking at students here, it's looking at somebody who would love to be part of the industrial revolution, walking on the streets there. I'm not saying there shouldn't be control. There should be control of who comes in here because there should be security on the things that are happening here. But there should be means and ways of making sure that somebody from out there is able to access this because it's meant for the community. And crucially, the tangible step again is to actually bring in the digitization near people's fingers and for them to actually make sure that they become part of the flow that is moving forward. Now, various technology-based programs, like I said, and the CEO has indicated, he spoke about cloud computing, spoke about VR, spoke about petrochemicals wanting to conduct their e-learning on the sites and all of those things. So now we are saying also the fact that we are going to be doing all of those things and the message I would like to provide for you, young people there. I could see that you are young and many of you there who are students, to say that there is a quotation which I actually love. Quote, it's mine. It's not put it else's, it's mine. Right. It says, it's very short, and I actually say that it's important for youth to actually complement your vocal activism with individually reset buttons to do right for the right purpose and the right outcome. Now, why I'm saying this is that the things that which we were activists about during my age shouldn't be the same things that you are activists about nowadays. You should be relevant for what is currently happening. We can't listen to Malema and he says that we are fighting for this. He's relevant. But it's important for you to say what is relevant for us. The world is moving fast. You know, the world is moving fast. We can't be complaining about things that which Mamwezi was complaining about in 1976. We should be complaining about things that are happening right now on time. To say that the world is passing us by and how do we catch onto the train? The world is becoming industrialized. We don't want to point a finger and say, if only we were there. We were talking about Rwanda with the CEO, and everybody knows about Rwanda. We're at the airport in Rwanda. You are given directions by robots. So now, if we have got to be activists, we have got to say, how are we talking about directions in South Africa if we're still going to work to wait for a broken sign that says Gqeberha this side, when there already is a robot, you know, in Rwanda directing people where they are going to get their baggage from the airport. So let's be relevant in how we become activists. So it's important for us to say, like Will I Am, can we sit at our Smart Skill Center and see what is new? And if we see what is new and what has come in, you've got your chat GPT, is that what you call it? Chat GPT, you know, things that interpret what's happening in your head and writes it down before you actually put it down. So all of those things. So that's where you should be moving to as youth, to say that things are happening. And if Ms. Speaks and her staff are not up to speed with bringing us up, then we become activists to say that we want to be part of this revolution. We want to be part of this revolution so that we become relevant for the times that which we are living at. And by the way, I would like to thank you for being here as youth, and thank you also the community for being here, and also thank you for all the stakeholders for being here to actually be part of this astounding, of this most important project which CHIETA is proud of. In closing, I would like to thank everyone for taking your time to attend the momentous occasion and join us in celebrating this joyous milestone. And I'm sure we will be coming back here. The most important thing about CHIETA is that while we innovate, the team makes sure that they innovate for impact. And we're not going to determine impact if you don't come back to see what you did. It's not a hit and run. They've got to come back to see the impact of that which has been actually planted here. They are going to be checking if Omam Kumalo has come in to learn about how to access his bank, her bank. They're going to actually be here coming back to check if there's chat GPT for you guys. You are already online and you are also participating in holograms, you know, with the likes of people who you value or cherish from other countries. That can actually be happening in this space so that we are relevant for things of our age. And I'm very much appreciative of seeing that here we don't have any divides. No divides. We are bridging the gap of skills divide, digital divide, transformation divide, and we are collaborating, all of us, to make sure that we are on this journey together. And as we are on this journey together, we make sure that we take South Africa with us. It is our country. Nobody will take it forward for us. Nobody will come from another country to take it forward. The CEO was speaking about a CD, to say that the CD are now obsolete. As he was talking about that, I was thinking to say, in my times, and some other people, our times, we used to have cassettes. You know cassettes? And then you'd put a cassette on the car radio, and then it will start, and then we will sing and all of it, and suddenly it stops. And then you wonder what is happening now, and then you put a pause button. When you put a pause button, it's because you realize that something has gone wrong. And if something has gone wrong, you've got to go back to check what is it. Now, during our times, we were able to take out the cassette and shake it and actually even take out the reel and try and see where the problem is. and reset. And actually, when you reset in order to move on from where you paused. Now, that is what must happen with us as South Africa. We started doing the right things to take the South Africa from apartheid period to other times. But something went wrong somewhere. So the youth like yourselves have got to take a pause in that cassette and say, no, things are not going right. Let's pull out this cassette, see what went wrong, and not sing the same song which was sung in 1976, and actually say, what can we do now to correct what we see now? So that's the most important thing about resetting. Resetting after having paused the button, and then you are going to move on a correct trajectory. We are not going to be speaking about CDs being obsolete, but we are going to learn from what they taught us. We're going to learn from what the cassette taught us. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Koza. Your energy just inspires the entire audience. You make us feel younger, you know. So thank you for that. So colleagues, we are nearing almost towards the end. So we will move to the last item, which is the closing remarks. If I can call upon Mr. Clifford Jonas, the campus manager. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I deemed it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank the Chemical Industries Education and Training Authority, their board and executive management, and the whole team for funding the Smart Skills Center and organizing today's launch. I acknowledge the contributions of the Program Director, Ashvir Eisen, the speakers, Mrs. Fig, our principal, for your opening remarks, the Chemical CHIETA CEO, Mr. Yersin Pillay, for your address, our Advocate Nosidima Ndlovu, Chairperson of Council, for your remarks, and then the keynote address of the Chemical Ms. Wezi Koza. Thank you very much for your points and inspiration. Sanda Koya, thank you very much for your items that you've rendered. Like Shakespeare wrote in 12 Nights, because this is celebrating success. And again, the Chemical CHIETA for being the driving force to make this possible, and its other stakeholders. Then also one have to acknowledge the gentleman here. He's been very active the whole day with the camera and the video crew. Thank you. And you are also, your presence in covering this event is highly appreciated. And then the unsung heroes. Now, it's very difficult to mention their names. The unsung heroes of all stakeholders. That is the CHIETA staff as well, that work tirelessly, as well as the staff of the campus, of the Gqeberha campus. Gqeberha means place of pride. So I just want to highlight, they said, please don't call them by name, but they know who they are. They have been really sacrificing, has been the backbone of ensuring and contributing to this event being a success. So there one need to acknowledge them. They work tirelessly. Present here today. This function a resounding success. All of you present here today. Thank you. Finally, I leave this inspiring by Martin Luther King. An individual has not started living above the confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jonas, for acknowledging everyone that has put in a lot of hard work and dedication into completing the Smart Skills Center. In conclusion, we believe that our collaboration with the PE College and our key partners will yield significant results as we prepare our youth for the future. We hope that we will spark new conversations and inspire new opportunities as we embrace digitization and innovation. We want the center, the Gqeberha Smart Skills Center, to be the hub for convergence of ideas and knowledge, to energize our youth, to thrive in the complex landscape of the fourth industrial revolution and the digital economy. We hope that the center will serve as a catalyst for growth and will result in the birth of new leaders here at the Kaya campus of PE College. So thank you, colleagues. That brings us to the end of our program today. There will be a center tour, so just in terms of process, there will be a center tour that will take place. I will ask everyone here to remain seated. We will take the colleagues on the stage first through that center. While we are doing the center tour, we will ask everyone to proceed to have lunch. Lunch is served in the next room. You're welcome to go and dish out and come back to the center. There will be some musical item that will be played as well. So you can listen to some of the nice music, have your lunch, and then after that, we will ask that you make your way to the Smart Skills Center in smaller groups or batches. Then you can view the nice work that has taken place there. But before we end, there is a few gifts from the chemical CHIETA that we would like to hand over. So can I ask Mr. Pillay and Ms. Koza, you can just hand over two gifts. So thank you, colleagues. That now officially brings us to the end. As I indicated, please help yourself to lunch. The music will start now. It's about enjoying the day, enjoying the session. And lastly, please make sure that you have a look at the Smart Skills Center. That's the main purpose of today. Feel free to interact. Our colleagues are there for a short period of time. They'll be able to demonstrate the VR technology. You'll be able to put on the goggles, immerse yourself in virtual reality if you have not experienced it before. So it was a great session. Thank you to everyone present today. Thank you for taking the time to attend today's event. I officially call the event closed. Thank you, everyone.